Hey crew, Dr. Tim DiFrancesco here with TD Athletes Edge. This is Taina, and we are excited to be working with None to Run to present you with the ultimate post-run cool down. So after your run is over, what do? Let's get into it. We're gonna start off with an exercise called cat-cow. This is a great way to bring your body down and your heart rate and your body into a nice steady state. Taina's going to get the reps going here. She's going to go ahead and get 8 of those reps up and down. So up and down in this cat-cow action is 1 rep. And what she's trying to do there is think about her hips are the driver. So her pelvis is the driver of the action. I like to think of it as a dial on the hips. So here she's tucking her tailbone, turning that dial down, and then here turning the dial up, looking up. One thing you can do here, especially having just finished with a run, is incorporate some breathing. So at the top position, happy cow position, breathe in, and then breathe out and tuck that tailbone underneath so you get more motion on that. Excellent. Next exercise, all fours, hip crossover. We're going to alternate it. So really nice stretch to work on the mobility of the posterior hips. Taina's going to get us going with 4 per side. She's pushing away with really tall posture through her shoulders and her arms, keeping her chest and her head and neck in a good posture as she crosses over, touches the back knee down, and just rotates slightly. It's sort of like a moving pigeon if you've ever done that move before, and it gets that posterior hip in a really nice way. A little bit of a hybrid between a static stretch and a dynamic stretch. So a great bang for your buck on this one. One last thing to note is she's really showing, pause right there, she's doing a great job of keeping that nice tall posture in this. It's easy to kind of bend your elbows and kind of fall into the ground a little bit, show the bent elbows. Want to avoid that. Push away, get tall through the chest and sit through the hip. Excellent. So next up, we're going with a catcher rock back. This is an exercise working on inner thigh, adductor muscle group mobility and flexibility. So one that a lot of times runners who go straight ahead and do that straight ahead work often don't get very much of the lateral stretching and mobility that we need. So this is great to provide that. Her setup here, let's talk through that before she goes. So hands are under the shoulders, and she lined up with first in an all-fours position to then kick out into what we call the catcher position. So that catcher position is this long leg. She's working to keep her foot flat here versus letting the ankle roll that way. We want to avoid that. So keep that foot flat. And then one thing to line yourself up is draw a line from the knee that's down straight over. That's where your toe should go. And then you're going to rock back. So with this one, we're working on forward and back, rocking action, sitting back into the hip. And her back foot here, the toe is dug in, and so that allows her to have some stability to sit back into the hip. But really the leg that's long in this case, as she does her reps on that side. So she did the 4 reps on that side, and then she's gonna go 4 reps on this side. And this foot here, the toe is dug in, and that foot stays planted over there. Again, paying attention to as she finishes the last few reps here, good posture. So think about your posture. You're tired from your run, but it's a good chance to reinforce that great posture. Excellent. We are going into a yoga pike up next. So with the yoga pike, let's get into the start position first. It's really the top of a push-up. This exercise is going to help you to work on hamstring flexibility, shoulders, core, and even your calves down here. So top of push-up, and then she's going to pike up. So we're going to go ahead and go 8 reps on this, pushing the chest away from the hands and the hips to the sky. Heels sink down to the ground at that top position right there. Heels are sinking down. Again, go ahead and incorporate your breath on this. Great chance for you to work on that breathing, help you use that breathing to help you to cool down. So what you want to think about here is breathe out as you go up, and then when you come back to your start position, you're getting that inhale on that. Making sure at the bottom not to let your hips fall below the level of your shoulders. Show that for us if your hips sag. Yeah, so don't let those hips sag on that. Just keep them flat and then up to the pike. Excellent. We are moving right into the figure 4 stretch. So the figure 4 stretch is going to be a different way to get to those posterior hips, which are often tight and can be cranky in that piriformis type area, the glutes back there. So Taina is going to start in the all fours position. This is the all fours right there. I'm sorry, the figure 4 position. And so with that figure 4, what she's going to do is she's going to grip behind the knee and then making sure to keep the shoulders and the head and the neck flat. So it's tempting to kind of like really crunch up like this and pull it tight to your body. Let the shoulders and the neck relax. We're going to hold for about a 20-second count here as you just, again, use your breath to help you as you breathe in and then breathe out. You can pull it a little closer to your body there. And then let's switch, calling that about 20 seconds. And the other side. So it should feel like a cool down. It should feel like you're using your breath as you go to help you to cool down further and just letting your head and neck relax on this one. The figure 4 side, in this case, her left leg is the side that's getting the stretch in the posterior hip. Great, about 20 seconds there, and we are going to a figure 4 rocker. So the figure 4 rocker is going to be the same start position. You're going to cross one leg over like that. And then from there, this is a great way to stretch the low back and the hips together. So you're going to let the leg fall and then go the other way. This foot always stays planted. Over and back is 1. So we're going to go 4 reps over and back on this side. Then we'll go 4 reps over and back the other side. Each person, this is a little different in terms of the range of motion. You may feel very comfortable letting your knee and hip go all the way to the ground there. You may not feel great with that at a certain point. So just stop where you feel like that low back hip complex feels like it's a good stretch, but not too much on that. And then we'll switch sides. Taina's doing a great job of keeping her upper body relaxed. Again, good deep breaths as you're doing this, and you can see her arms are out wide to give her some stability in helping to control the motion. One hip will raise off, so the hip you're going away from, that hip and the glute, the posterior aspect, will raise off on each side. That's totally okay, but keep this foot flat to the ground, or at least keep it touching the ground on that as it rocks on its edges side to side. Fantastic. 2 more. The one up next is called the dynamic Bretzel. So the dynamic Bretzel is an excellent catch-all exercise. It really gets a bit of everything. Primarily hip flexors as well as low back. So the setup on this is to bring the top leg, that knee goes up towards the chest, and you can see Taina grip that knee so she keeps that knee down towards the ground. The bottom leg, you want to see as Taina set up here perfectly, the thigh and knee are in line with her spine there. So show what happens if your bottom knee creeps forward. It's easy for that bottom knee to creep forward there. Try to bring it back to start. So now you're in line. Use your breath on this one as well. Inhale in the closed position here. Exhale as you open up. And you can let the foot and the lower leg rotate with you. Yep, so like here, you can let this, as you close back up, you can let this kind of close and come this way as you go there, and then bring it back down to the ground as you go. So we'll do 4 on this side. And ideally, you do want to keep that knee down to the ground. So if you needed a pad or something to make sure you can keep it there, that's fine. But you are going to go same thing on the other side. So you can see gripping the top of the foot there, and then the thigh in line with the spine there. She's exhaling here. She's inhaling, coming back to this. You're getting a very strong, sometimes strong stretch in the hip flexors and the quad on the bottom leg there, while the low back and even the upper back, thoracic spine, gets a great stretch in that opening position there. Excellent. So there's the dynamic Bretzel. Last one, we're going to floss the hamstrings. So a little hamstring hygiene here. Those hammies can be pesky sometimes, so it's great to give them some regular doses of mobility and flexibility. This is a hamstring floss. So Taina is going to lay on her back, grip behind the knee gently. Again, sometimes we see people really clench that and then they get their upper body involved. She's relaxed in the upper body. She's gripping gently behind the knee. This leg is out straight, comfortably flat to the ground, and then she goes into the action. So she'll do 4 reps of that nice extend and bend action of the knee. You want this to feel like a good hamstring stretch. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that every person will get totally straight at the top. Get to the top position that feels comfortable for you. It should feel comfortable. And with this, it's just meant to be a nice extension stretch at the top position and then bend and nice and easy. Great way to finish the entire cool down there, making sure that you've taken care to bring your body down from your run in terms of your heart rate and how your pace of your body is operating, but then just giving it some of those great different planes of movement, mobility, and stretch action can be really beneficial.